that they'll come up and tell us we're under grace. Just
Do
say
you
it.
speak
Just
for all
say
black
it. Just
people?
say it. Just say it.
Can you speak for
well,
all
why
black
don't you
people?
stop speaking for black people?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
White privilege did exist.
No.
What?
Yeah, I suppose
Oh.
when we lived in a country where
I thought she was saying no to the question, bro. I was about to be like, nah, she's crazy. She is genuinely crazy.
if you were black, you were not allowed to go into certain places, right? I suppose you could say again, and that's I guess that wouldn't be white privilege. You would call that Nordic privilege in the progressive era when there were signs that said Irish need not apply. So that's a different. That is white on white, a lack of a privilege. Of course, there's examples in the history of the world where you would have been privileged if your skin was white, especially in this country and in other countries as well. But today, no, white privilege does not exist.
When did it end?
Over time, beginning with the civil rights era, it's not a particular incident or moment, but multi-generations, the country became significantly less racist. I would say after Reconstruction, after the Civil War, after, when we had desegregation, fought the Democrat institutional racism, we fought back against the KKK, when the Civil Rights Act was signed, when blacks were allowed to participate in Major League Baseball.
But there was still white privilege then. So you saying it ended, that's cap, bro. I don't even know if you believe this yourself. That's cap, because it was still privileged at that point for white people, other than black people.
The National Football League, the National Basketball Association, serve at elected office, all those things, contributed to the end of what used to be privilege in society, white privilege.
You said less racist. Is it still somewhat racist?
No, do you just have questions? I think.
No, you said you wanted a dialogue. We're having a
Oh, okay.
conversation.
No.
It's the least racist country in the world.
No, America is not a racist country today.
Is it still racist? So
No.
when did it end?
No.
There's certain.
You can't answer the question.
It ended
You
when
keep
it's.
on
It
bombarding
ended.
with-
I just did.
Okay,
No, you didn't. You said less
I will
racist.
answer.
I'm
I'll
asking
answer.
when
I'm
did it
answering
end?
you.
Is
When it
America?
stopped being systemic, when there stopped being laws in
Yes.
place that stopped
That's
me
a
as
great
a
answer.
black person doing what you are able to do as a white man.
No, I'm not asking that. Systemic racism is not simply that issue.
Yes, you just asked
about
me to
the
define when it stopped being, when this
What about
country
what?
stopped being racist. That's the answer.
When?
That I can't give you the exact date and time and hour. I'm telling you
Give me
when.
the decade.
What do you mean?
Mid-1970s.
Yeah, right.
Mid-1970s.
Yeah.
So mass incarceration affecting black and brown communities disproportionately
Because they
to
committed,
their population.
because they committed more crimes.
They
Yeah,
committed
well,
more-
yeah.
As to why? Why did they commit more crimes? Is it
Because
they
we
were
ripped
black,
apart
or
the
was it
family.
because
It's
of their
not-
economic situation?
It's
I'm
absolute-
not fucking talking to you. Dude.
Oh,
Why don't wait, come? Why are
whoa,
liberals
bro,
so
you
angry? I
got
can't-
he going hard, man. He going hard. But I genuinely want to know like when did it end? Because she actually brought up a good point, or I wouldn't even say a good point, but she brought up a good message. She was like, when we were allowed to have the same laws and all that. But the best point she brought up was that America was the least racist place in the world. And I don't know much about other countries, bro. But when I really think about it, man, the country that African Americans feel, I think, the safest in is America. I mean, probably Canada, but America, it probably is the safest place for black people in the world, man.
I can't figure out why you're
I'm not a
angry. Why are you
liberal.
angry
I'm not a
right
liberal,
now?
so stop assuming my political
Okay, but
affiliation.
you
Definitely
just
not a
came out of
conservative.
nowhere and just start cursing.
No, you
I think
invited me up here, raised my hand,
I know,
and
but
you said,
I'm saying
"Please
you
come
just
up
turned
here."
around and
No,
you're
stop
cursing
trying
at
to change
someone.
the-
Why don't you calm down? It's just a conversation.
perfectly calm. I can
Nobody,
curse
you
while
don't have
being
to turn
calm.
around and curse anyone behind you.
I can.
You're okay.
It's a free country, right?
Okay. No, but I'm saying that it's not necessary.
It is a
to
free
have
country.
dialogue for you to
Necessary.
turn around and be angry. I do
God
always
bless
smartly
America.
am going to suspect that you are liberal because right now you're trying to sell me
I'm
my own.
not liberal.
You're
I
selling me
just
my own
said it.
oppression, so that's a very liberal
I'm not
stance.
liberal.
Usually, when a white man stands up and tells me that yes, this is a racist country and is oppressed, they do tend to be liberal. Only liberals try to sell me my
But
oppression.
I'm not.
But okay, I'm not going to assume your
Thank you. Thanks.
political ideology. So here's
I do.
here. I mean, to answer your question for me, when the system stops being racist and there's nothing stopping us, and you brought up the prison rates, and you
in
said
Hawaii?
something that was actually really important. You said it's because their communities have been economically depressed. So that would not be because of the color of your skin. That's economic privilege. If you ask me whether or not I believe in economic privilege, I would tell you yes. If you ask me whether or not I think that somebody born into a family of billionaires will be afforded more privileges in life than somebody that is born in the projects of Chicago, I would say yes, because economic privilege in this country does exist. But there is no law in place that is stopping a person because of the color of their skin from gaining that economic privilege, which is why I do not believe that white privilege, which is based upon the color of your skin, exists.
Is black poverty and white poverty different? Do
No.
they face different?
No, poor is poor.
That's a lie. White people are more likely to be in rural poverty, which is different than urban poverty.
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
Yeah, bro. I'm not. You ain't eat on that one, bro. You ain't. That didn't hit the way you wanted it to hit because we don't live in those areas. So of course it's a difference, man. That's like saying, is there a difference between a Popeye's chicken sandwich or a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich? And if she was like, no, it's no different. They're like, that's cap. One is from Popeyes and one is from bro. Of course it's different. They from different areas. What do you expect? Like, they're not from the same place. Obviously, there's a difference. Like, obvious. We're just more so in the other areas. But I don't know what you was expecting to get out of that question. But yeah, man, America is amazing. Of course, it's a lot of issues here. I'm not even gonna cap. It's a lot of issues here, but I still am stuck on what she said. America's the least racist because it might be. I don't know. But I like America, man. I'm not gonna cap.
That's because black people don't live in rural parts of America.
Why? Historically, why? Why did black people flock?
Because of Lyndon Baines Johnson, urban planning, central planning, Great Society, where he said, we are going to verticalize the black community, destroy the black father, introduce drugs in the late 1960s, subsidize single motherhood, which used to be 22% in the 1960s, which is now 73%. Only a government program could make something like that happen.
Did it have anything to do with the lynchings in the South and the hostility towards black people in the South?
Well, first off, you say
is there any reason why they left the South for that reason?
Just so everybody knows, literally not half people, 1/3 of the people that were lynched in the South were white Republicans. So Republicans were being lynched in the South as well. So let's not pretend
What?
that
Okay, that's
if
fine,
your
but that's
argument,
not-
if you're
that's
Is
asking,
that true? 1/3? Nah. How come every single one of these videos is always some crazy fact or statistic that they just be dropping out of nowhere? And me as a college student, been in school my whole life, I've never learned any of this. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean that can't be true? Somebody please comment below if that's actually a real statistic, because it just sounds unbelievable.
My point.
it seems like
that's a what about
it
argument.
seems
You
like
just
you're
addressed something else.
no. I just responded.
Does
You
it
said
have
it was a
anything
dialogue.
to do black people leaving the South and going to inner cities and other
He just
parts of the
answered that
country
question for you.
have anything to no? I said, does it have anything to do with the KKK,
Very little to nothing.
lynchings,
Yes.
and violence in the South that black people face?
So what it has to do with is the fact that black people continue.
Answer my question.
No,
Very little to
you're-
Does
nothing.
it? Yes or no?
Very
You're
little.
not allowing
Answer.
me to. Okay, listen, you're not going to be like, you're not my boss. So
guys
don't
do the
tell
same
me,
shit.
don't
You
tell me
guys
how
talk
I
over
have to
people all the
answer
time.
your
I was just
question.
over there
Okay,
with you shutting people down.
nobody's intimidated from you telling me how I'm going to
not
answer
trying
your
to
question.
intimidate you. I'm
You're not
trying to
going to
have an
cut. You're not going to cut me off.
honest
Okay.
conversation. No, I'm
So
trying to have an honest
why don't you
conversation
stop?
with you
Why
because
don't
you
you
guys do
stop
not want to.
exercising your invisible white privilege and let the black girl talk for a second? Okay.
That's nice. No, this has nothing to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, here's a few things that I don't like about this discussion. First thing is that, because at first he was asking some good questions. When the conversation first started, he was asking some good questions. Like, if you don't believe in systemic racism, when do you think it ended? That was a very good question. I'm not even gonna lie, because I was like, when did it end? But but what I don't like about the conversation is that, for one, he's not letting her talk for real, and he's letting the white dude talk, but he's not letting her talk, and it's kind of rubbing me the wrong way. Because it's like when the white dude talks, you're not saying anything. You're not saying a word. You're silent as a mouse, creeping around. But when she starts talking, you start yelling on the mic as if you are her superior or something. Like, who do you think you are to even do that, for one? That's not fair, man. And the second thing I don't like is that every instance of systemic racism he talks about is from decades and decades and decades ago. I understand. But if you're going to come up here and say America is racist, that it has all these crappy policies, and I'm listening, I'm trying to listen to you, bro. Like, and I'm really trying to understand. But you're bringing up stuff from the 40s, from the 1800s, from the 1920s. Bring up something from now. Bring up something, at least bring up something from 10 years ago. So I'll even take 30 years ago. Bring up the 90s. But bro, you bringing up the 60s, the 50s, the 30s, every decade and generation before my generation, before my own generation. So as a youngin who's trying to understand what you're saying, as a youngin who's trying to learn more about this, why should I take you serious if you're yelling over the black woman in the video, for one? For two, you're not even bringing up relevant information that would affect my generation, that would affect my life. Of course, it would be like deep-rooted effects, of course, like deep-rooted effects about my great-great-grandfather and great-great-grandmother. Of course, obviously. But bro, I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but you need to bring up stuff that's happening right now, and then it can be a little more validity to your stance.
Okay, so to answer your question,
So white privilege exists. Wait.
I said invisible white
doesn't
privilege.
exist
I
then.
said invisible white privilege. If you listen,
Of course it's
okay?
invisible.
So
White
first
privilege
things
is not a
first,
tangible
white
thing.
privilege does not exist. Economic privilege does exist. Okay. If you're asking me, do I think the black community has been crippled economically? The answer would be yes. It has been crippled economically by Democrat policies. You just heard
Who
me
cares
say that
who
in
does
there.
it?
I
Democrats
care,
are
because that
Americans.
tells you-
Democrats are in America,
because
so
that
therefore
tells
you just
that
admitted
tells you-
that there has been disadvantage
it
by
is not
two
race.
black.
And this is so weird, bro. This whole thing is so weird. You have a white man yelling at a black woman about him saying white privilege does exist and it negatively affects our community, and the black woman is saying it doesn't exist and it doesn't. This is so strange because, like, you would think that it would be a white man saying that white privilege don't exist, and the black woman on the stand be like, no, it exists. But it's like, it's so ironic how like the tables flipped. And I'm not saying that to like say he's wrong or say she's wrong or none of that. I'm just saying like this generation is so strange how the things just turn around. It's so this decade is just so unserious, man. This is so unserious.
It is not.
Democrats who
It is
are
not
American.
based
You
off
just
of
admitted
the. It is not based off. You asked
No.
me if white privilege exists. The answer is white privilege. Because you're born white, that means you're gonna not have this or that. It does not exist. No, it does not
You just
exist.
admitted that the Democrats, the boogeyman Democrats,
They're not boogeyman. They
disadvantaged
exist.
the black
Boogeyman
people.
doesn't exist.
No,
60 years
Democrats do
they
exist.
did it.
So
60
boogeyman means doesn't
They did
exist.
it.
Just so you know, there
We're
are
talking about
Democrats.
So
today.
you admit that it exists.
60.
I don't think you're comprehending. You're not.
So,
You're not
let-
I'm
comprehending.
not sure that you are. You said
60 years ago, white people had it better than black people. Over time, there's no more systemic laws that are in place. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. What can a white person
Do
do
we
that a black person
disproportionately-
cannot do today in today's America? Name one thing.
well, black people.
Answer the question. Isn't that how this works?
Fucking question. Black people who smoke marijuana, black and white people smoke marijuana at the same rates. Yet a black person is 3 to 4 times more likely
I can
to be
answer
put
that.
in jail.
Okay,
Okay.
that's a
And
good
I know the
point.
reason why, because the police are in the urban
No,
communities. It's easier to police those
no,
communities. Sure.
because
But that-
actually, I had a girlfriend. I had a family member who got a DUI, and I had a girlfriend who got a DUI.
Just to let you know, by just saying what you're saying and standing up here and knowing what's going on through
A
the
white man calling a black woman a disgrace. What y'all are saying be kind of racist? If anything, like if you trying to bring it up, what y'all are saying is kind of racist, bro. You looking, and I don't even know Candace Owens for real. I don't know her ideologies, whatever the crap. I don't know. But you going to a successful black woman and be like, you're a disgrace for her saying that racism doesn't affect her community. She might be a disgrace. I don't know. I need to look into her stuff a little more. But you don't got the right to say that.
police brutality, through injustice,
I
all
love
this stuff.
this is so.
You're a
I guys,
joke.
I
You're a
love that
joke.
behind me. There's like black people rolling their eyes, but the 2 white guys are yelling at me, telling me that I
Yeah.
agree with them. This is what I love about white liberals, right? Like they know
I'm not a
it's so
liberal.
important
You're a
for
Marxist.
them to sell us
No,
our
I'm not.
oppression that they'll come up and tell us we're a disgrace. Just
Do
say,
you speak
just
for all
say
black
it, just
people?
say it, just say
Can
it.
you speak for
well,
all
why
black
don't you
people?
stop speaking for black people? That would be.
Yeah, like she don't speak for all black people. I'm not gonna lie, she don't. But you definitely don't. Like you definitely don't. She don't even speak for all black people. So you don't, man. I do think your heart is in the right place though. I say that. Your heart is in the right place. You have very good intentions, but bruh, relax a little bit. But anyways, y'all have suggestions for me. If y'all can please tell me what the crap is going on in this video, somebody. But anyways, I'll catch y'all later.